Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make this hexagon, and it's supposed to be Halloween candy with in the wrapper. So here we go. For the tutorial I am going to be using colors you can see because black doesn't show up, but you're going to need a 6mm crochet hook, so you're going to start with a magic ring. Wrap it around twice, cross it, and then twist it. There you go. Chain one, and I'm going to do a standing or a stacked single crochet, which will count as my first double crochet, but you can also chain 3. I just think the stacked single crochet looks a little neater, so I'm going to single crochet around those loops, go in through this side, pick up a loop, and single crochet. Now into the loop you're going to put 13 more double crochets for a total of 14 stitches. So this is your first stitch. Two, three, four, and continue this around until you have 14 stitches total. And when you need to tighten your loop, pull it, and the loop that tightens, you're going to pull that to tighten the second loop, like that. So I have 10. $11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, so now you're going to find the loop that tightens, just this one, pull it to tighten the second loop, and then pull. So there's your first round. So now you're going to slip stitch to the top of your first stitch, and I'm going to make another stacked single crochet, but you can do a chain 3. So now for every stitch around, you're going to increase 2, 2, 2, 2, all the way around for 28 stitches. But every other stitch, you're going to change color. So here's your first stitch. Double crochet in the same stitch. Now you're going to take your second color, which on the hexagon is black, but for this demonstration I'm going to use the purple. And I like to make a slip knot because I'm going to do a standing single crochet and make a stacked single crochet for my first stitch. So pull this long, put your next color on your hook, and in this second stitch make a single crochet, so it's your standing single crochet, or you can chain 3. So there's one. Now I need to make another one for 2 because I'm increasing every stitch around. So now you're going to pull this long and go back to your orange. So I'm going to try to show you. You're going to take your orange, go into the back loop of your purple, and then find the bottom bar behind your work. Right there. So you're going to be slip stitching into the back loop and the bar below it. Slip stitch. Now if you need to, tighten your double crochet. Go into the back loop, find the bottom bar, just right here, and slip stitch. Pull your loop to the front, keep your working yarn in back, and 2 double crochet in the next stitch. One, 2. Pull it long, go back to your purple, keep your loop up front, your working yarn in back, go back to your purple, find your next double crochet, pick up the back loop, and then find that bottom bar, and slip stitch. Go into your next double crochet, back loop, bottom bar, slip stitch. It can get a little tangled, but once you get going, it's not so bad. Let's go into your next stitch with your purple and increase 2 double crochet. 1, 2. And you're just going to do this all the way around. So one last time. back loop, bottom bar, slip stitch, back loop, bottom bar, slip stitch, purple in the back, loop in the front, increase with your orange in the next stitch. And you're just going to do this all the way around, alternating your colors. I will meet you back at the beginning. So here we are, back at the beginning. And what you're going to do is find the back loop, the back bar of your stitch, like that. Slip stitch, back loop, bar, slip stitch, and just for extra security, I also go into, you can see them now, see this back two right here on the purple, go through those, slip stitch, and then fasten off. And then your orange. Back loop, bottom bar, slip stitch, back loop, bottom bar, slip stitch, and then on the orange, go through these two bars. Slip stitch and fasten off. And there's the striped candy part done. So now you're going to take white. I have this really nice sparkly, you can't really see, sparkly. And for the wrapper part, we're going to start in any second stitch on your stripe. So as long as the stitch is your second one, so 1, 2, it's the second one, that's where you want to start. I like to make a slip knot, and now you're going to be working in these stitches right here. You're going to be working through these stitches. So find a second stitch, turn your work, and go through these back two. Pull up your loop, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, into this same stitch, you're going to make 4 double crochet. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch back into the stitch that you worked, and there you go. From here on out, we are going to slip stitch through these stitches in the back. And since there's 28 stitches, this counts as one stitch, and you're going to slip stitch across the next 13 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's exactly half of your stitches. So in your next stitch, slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch back into the stitches or the stitch that you worked into to close off your wrapper. And now we're just going to slip stitch in the remaining back bars right here, which should be 13. Here's your last stitch, because we started on the purple one right here. And slip stitch back into your stitch with the wrapper. And then fasten off. So now we're going to make the hexagon part, and we're going to be working again through these stitches right here. So for your hexagon, you pick up your background color. I'm going to use gray. So I like to make a slip knot. And in any first stitch, as long as it's the first stitch, you're going to, here's this one, find the first back stitches right here. Put your hook in. Pull up a loop. Sorry. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to skip over this second one and slip stitch into the first stitch of your next color. Slip stitch. Chain 3. Skip to the first stitch of your next color. Slip stitch. Chain 3. First stitch. Slip stitch. And you're just going to do this all the way around. Here's the first stitch, and since we worked the wrapper in the second stitch, you don't even have to worry about working into it, because chain 3, skip to the first stitch. And you're just going to do this all the way around. Now you're going to slip stitch back into the first stitch that you worked into. Now you're going to slip stitch. Oh, you should have 14 chain 3 loops around. So now you're going to slip stitch into your first chain 3 space, and you can either chain 3, which counts as your first stitch, or do a stacked single crochet. I'm going to do a stacked single crochet. So there's your first stitch. Now this part can be a little bit tricky, but once you get it down, it's pretty easy. Every chain 3 space has to have 3 double crochet. But every 7th double crochet, you need to chain 2 for a corner. So I like to start with 3 double crochet in your first chain space. So 1, 2, 3. Just for your starting, I like to start with chain 3, chain 2. This is my first corner, and I'm going to be working my first edge. This is just a partial work of your last edge, because we're going to be working this part. So I always like to start with your 3 double crochet for partial edge. Now chain 2 for your first corner, and now every chain 3 needs to have 3 double crochet, but every 7th stitch you need to chain 2. So now we're going to start counting our first edge, and every edge has 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain 2. This is what I mean. So now we're going to be working our first edge. We have corner, so now we're going to work our first edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in our next chain, 7. So now we chain 2. And since every chain 3 needs to have 3 double crochet, we put 2 double crochet into the same chain space. 1, 2. But now we've started our next edge. Right here. So, one, two, three in the next one, three, 4, 5, into the next chain, 6, 7, chain 2, double crochet back into the same chain space for 3 double crochets in your chain 3. So there's your next corner, 3 double crochets into that chain space, but now we've started our next edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 3, so 3 in the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 3, so chain 2, 1, 2, into your next chain, 1, 2, 3, in your next one, 4, 5, 6, so there's 3, into your next one, 7, chain 2, 1, 2. Now we need 3 double crochets into the chain space, so this counts as your next edge. 1, 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3 in the next one, 3, 4, 5, skip to your next one because we have 3, 6, 7. Now we're on our last, this is the beginning of our last edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, chain 2. This needs 3 double crochets in it, so 1 double crochet, 1, for a total of 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, and there's your corner. So slip stitch to the top of your first stitch, and there you go. Now you have a hexagon between it. Every side is 7 stitches, and as long as each chain space has 3 double crochets, you can count out 7 stitches for each side. So fasten off your work. So now we're going to do our last round, which I do in black, but for the tutorial I am just going to use orange so you can see what I do. And now I like to do a stacked single crochet, but you can do a chain 3, and this will count as your first stitch, but you're just going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch around. So attach your yarn, single crochet, so 1, and just double crochet in each stitch. Here's the stacked single crochet I made, so I'm going to work into that. When you get to your corner, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet back into your space, and then 1 double crochet in each stitch. And you're just going to do that all the way around. So here I am back at the beginning. Slip stitch, fasten off. And then weave in your ends, and there's your candy. And here's my Halloween pattern for, I didn't finish the black on this, for, the holiday. Happy Halloween. Bye.